We are continuing LAB02B. We've already installed Oracle Enterprise Linux, which is the same with Red Hat Linux. And it's basically the same process to install Ubuntu, Fedora, CentOS, whichever Linux flavor you are working with, Debian, Mandrake, Linux. So we've installed Linux, and then we've configured Linux for the installation of Oracle. We've ensured that we have the appropriate packages. And again, if you have Oracle validated package installed, you do not need to install all the individual packages again, because Oracle validated will install all the packages required, create the group O install and DBA, and create the user Oracle for us and set the kernel parameter for us. All right, let's continue from where we stopped. We've already installed the server, and we have configured the kernel parameters and everything, and we have transferred the installation zip file to the server in Texas. So we are in Atlanta, the server is in Texas. So now we've created the folders, these folders to install our Oracle software. Our Oracle base is also known, we've set the environment variable. Just to remind us, let's take a quick look at our environment variable. Where am I right now? I am in /home/oracle/stage/database. The environment variable is not, the file, the bash is not here, is in my Oracle, is in my home folder for the Oracle user. So let me see the content of that. My home folder has the .bash _ profile. So we see that we already set the environment variable. Here they are. Here they are. Ensure that you have the correct host name, the correct seed. Our seed is going to be ORCL. All right, let me clear the screen and then we proceed. Inside the database folder in our stage, we have run installer. To begin to run installer, you will do that. Run installer. So this will invoke the OUI, the Oracle Universal Installer. If you have an error that has something to say, it says something about Java, about the display, check, you may have logged in as root. Root should never install Oracle. Only Oracle should install Oracle. So now we have the Oracle Universal Installer. Because this is a training environment, we do not wish to receive email from Oracle. Thanks, Oracle. Click yes here. We are going to, in the first lab, in LAB02A, you created and configured the database automatically, but now we're going to take it one step at a time. This is LAB02B. We're going to install the software only, which will ensure that the instance is installed. Software only. Next. This is not a rack installation, so this is going to be a single instance installation. English, please. You can choose whatever language you are comfortable with Egyptian, German, Greek. We're going to install the enterprise version of Oracle. Now, because we have set our environment variable already, Oracle picks that up and pre-populates this Oracle-based and Oracle home location. If you do not have that set in your environment, it will default to /home/Oracle, and the installation will proceed. And many times people start looking for, oh, I did install it, I couldn't access it. Be sure that you have set your environment variable. Next. And if the folder was not created, you will have an error. Next, the group that will own the components. The first screen I just passed was displaying where your Oracle inventory will be. So this is the summary. Now, what happened right there was that there was a quick check. Can Oracle be installed on this server? If there was, if a problem was indicated, some kernel parameter was not set, your swap space has an issue, or some package was not installed, it will be listed there and you can go fix it before you proceed. But for now, we can proceed. So this is the summary. We have enough disk space. It will take 4.29 gig to install this. We have 14.73 and so we have a lot of space. Now this response file, we can, all the responses we've given to the OUI, we can save that so that the next time we install again and the same values will be required, we just point the run installer to the response file and we don't have to respond. So we can have an unattended installation. Finish, and now the installation begins. Now this will run for, give or take another 10-15 minutes, depending on the speed of your processor, depending on the amount of memory you have given to this server. Let's revisit the manual. This is what we have done. We went to the database folder, we invoked the run installer, the OUI, we gave it the Oracle base, Oracle home, and then we are installing the software only. So at the point when we install the database, we will be asked for the seed, even though we have set that in the environment variable. Now, if there are any issues that arise, fix them before we proceed. After the installation, we will be asked to run the root script. Very important, we must run the root script. Okay, this installation, like I said, will take a few minutes. Okay, now that we have installed Oracle, we have gotten to the point where we need to run the root script. So it tells us to run these two scripts. For the purpose of the exam, you should know what these scripts do. Let's run the first one. I will copy it, and it has to be run as the root user. So I go to the root user, right click and paste that, and that runs. It says it removes read, write, and execute permission for the world and gives that only to the appropriate group. Second root script should be run at this point. Press enter to accept the default, and then we have run the root script. So now you click on OK, and now the Oracle software has been installed. Oracle software has been installed. Our next move will be to configure the listener. Let's go back to the our guide. So we're going to configure the listener using netCA, and the listener will be called listener using netCA. So netCA, we're going to configure the listener, the first one, listener. There is no listener, so we can only add listener. The listener will be called listener. We will be using TCP protocol. The default port will be 1521. Let me take a look at the lab. The default port is 1521. Now, do not test this listener because we don't have a database yet. Okay, no. So the listener has been configured, the default listener. Now, the next step is to configure a listener using netCA to configure a connection method using netCA. Okay, this step will create for us SQLnet.aura. The first step created for us listener.aura. As a matter of fact, let me quickly just show you where that is. If we do a change directory, Oracle Permit me to clear the screen. I don't want you to be confused. Change directory, Oracle Home Network Admin. Okay, why do we have that problem? Did I type something wrong? Did you do ls? CD. I think my environment variable has not been set. I'm going to disconnect and reconnect. There. Okay, do an ls. So that's our listener.aura. If we cut the listener.aura to look at take a look at the content of the listener.aura, the answers that we gave with the netCA is all here. Here's the domain name, here's the listening port right there, and that's the listener. Let's check the status of this listener. Listener control status. The listener is running. The listener is called listener. It is running on this domain on this server. Listener supports no service. There is no database. The party is on. The bouncer is at the door. The bouncer does not know about the party. All right, let's proceed and define a naming method. Naming method. Next, we're going to be allowing local naming. In other words, the people are going to have TNS names in their Oracle Home. Easy Connect. They are going to be able to do an easy connect, stating all the information. Next, so this created a file called SQLnet.aura. So if we take a look, we now have the file called SQLnet.aura. If we take a look at the content of that file, SQLnet.aura, we are allowed TNS connection and easy connect. All right. The lab says at this point that we should then use DBCA, database configuration assistant, to create the database. So we've installed the instance. We have configured the listener. Now we want to create the database using DBCA. Well, I'm going to take a quick detour. Since I'm on netCA already, I want to create, if you take a look here, we do not have, if I do an ls, we do not have our TNS name.aura. I'm going to take a detour and create a local net service name configuration. I'm going to add a TNS entry. The database is ORCL, that's the seed of our database. TCP. The host name is PT Linux 2B, the domain, and the port is 1521. Do you want to test it? No, we don't want to. This service name, we can leave it as ORCL. I can just call it my prod server. I just want to put it there so that you see the difference when I open the file. You want to do another one? No. Finish. So I'm done. So now I have a file called tnsname.aura. If I take a look at the content of that file, everything I answered there is in this file. There is an alias called prod, and this prod is just a bookmark. Okay, it could be anything. Dev, prod, stage. But these are the credentials. There's the domain name and the listening port and the seed, the service name of this database. So from now on, we will be using this name. Oh, Dennis, please put that thing in prod. Oh, copy it from prod to dev. That's the name we'll be using, the alias. All right. And just to be, okay, let me proceed. Now we need to create the database using DBCA. Using DBCA, we are going to create the database, okay? Again, DBCA is a graphic user, a GUI tool. So this is database configuration assistant. We want to create the database. We have the instance running, we have the listener. Next, we want to create a database. We're going to use general purpose OLTP. We are not doing a data warehouse. What is the seed of our database? We just call it ORCM. We're going to configure Enterprise Manager, so you make sure that is checked. We are going to use one password for these 4 users. Stick to the class password. In production environment, usually we will not use the same password for all 4. The data files, are they going to be on simple file system or ASM? For now, we're going to use file system. Next. And of course, the files are going to be in the default location. And it's going to, our FRA is going to be in the flash recovery area. Flash recovery area. Here you can change the name of that folder to fast recovery area. I'm just going to leave the default, but it can be changed to fast recovery area. Are we going to enable archiving? Is this database going to be in archive log mode? For now, we just leave it at the default. Next. Ensure to check sample schema. So everything I'm entering here is in the lab here. Set the password for the user. Follow all screen prompt until you make the choice sample schema. And if we don't check sample schema, you won't be able to query the employee tables and all that. Finish. Now we can do a lot with DBCA.
Finish or next?
But finish. Okay. We can do a lot with DBCA, but let's just finish right there. And it summarizes what we want to do. And then we say, okay, and DBCA begins to install the database. Now this may run for another 20 minutes or thereabout, depending on your speed, the speed of your processor, and how much memory you gave it. Any questions so far?
Going good.
All right, DBCA has finished installing the database, and take a look at this. The URL for Enterprise Manager is right there. The port is 1158. And then the parameter file is in our Oracle Home DBS, SP file seed.aura. That's it. We're just going to exit. We can manage password here, but you don't want to do that. We are going to learn how to manage the password. Exit, and then the lab says you should log in as the sysdba. Let's go ahead and log in as the sysdba. SQL plus / as sysdba. All right, so the database is on. And what's next? We should connect with the browser and connect to OEM. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and open. You can use any browser. I'm using Chrome. https://pt Linux. You can replace that with the IP address 1158/EM. Advance, proceed,
This is where mine is not working.
And then we are going to log in as SIS.
This
Logging in as SIS,
class password.
the class password,
This is DBA.
and as SIS DBA. There we go. So that's Enterprise Manager right there. That's the seed of our database. It was created today. It's 11201. The listener is up and running. We have no immediate alerts. Everything is looking good. Let's go to the performance tab. Sometimes you may require Flash to be installed on your computer to display these graphs. We are looking good here. And the next step in the lab simply says, use Net Manager to configure another listening port at 1523. Call it extra door. This is an attempt to ensure that you really understand the concept of the listener, configuring the listener. And I'm trying to make you use a different tool from NetCA. This tool is as old as, it comes all the way back. It's very old too. Let's invoke NetCA, Net Manager, sorry. We want to create a listener called extra door. And here we are. That's the default listener right there. So while our cursor is on listener, the plus sign, the listener will be called extra door. Say okay. And so let's configure that listener. The address will be 1523. 1523. Save that file, save network configuration, and then we exit. If we take a look at our listener.aura, ls, do a cat listener.aura. So now we have extra door right there, and the port is 1523. Okay? Then the question is this listener running?
What about the prod? The prod is not showing here.
No, that's the listener. This is not your TNS.
Okay.
So, is this listener running? Let's check the status of that listener. LSNR, status, extra. Now, this is where you need to understand that if you have a listener that has another name, you have to mention the name. Check the status. The listener is not running. Let's start that listener. The listener is running now, but the listener does not know about the database. Now, this is a dynamic listener, and so it will automatically register with the database over time. PMON will enable that to happen. But if that doesn't happen, we can make it register with the database. SQL plus //sysdba alter system register. So we're trying to ensure that the listener is aware of the database. Now let's move on. So we have used Net Manager to configure the listener extra door. Now this exercise is very important. We want to shut down the database. Shut down the database, stop the listener, stop the extra door listener, stop DB console, and reboot the Linux server. Let's do that. I'm going to stop the listener. Listener, control. I'm stopping the default listener. And I'm about to stop extra door. Stop extra door. And next, I'm about to stop Enterprise Manager. I can clone this clone session so that I have another tab. emctl stop db console. So I'm stopping db console. Of course, let me log out of Enterprise Manager. Now let's stop the database SQL+ / as csdba shut down immediate. So the database is going down. Enterprise Manager is down. So the database is dismounted, it's closed, and then shut down. Everything is down. We are about to reboot our Unix server. I'm going to do that as the root user. I'm just going to type reboot. And the server is actually rebooting. Again, some of these videos can be located on our website. If you want to take a look at installing Oracle on ASM, that's the sample video right there on our website on the resources page. Click on resources and you can take a look at the sample video.
All right, everybody.
Installing Oracle. This is the secure CRT, secure file transfer using mobile XFM, using secure CRT. We also have a video on data pump. 3 videos on data pump. Let me play you video 2 on data pump. All these videos can be viewed from our website, moving data using data pump.
Talk about
the server is rebooting right now. I'm just patiently waiting for it. Yes. While we are waiting, let me show you 1 or 2 more things from our website. On the advanced lab, we have broken the cloning of the database into 3 parts. We will clone the Oracle home. We will do a one-to-one replication of the database. We clone the database, and then we clone it into an environment called stage, and then we'll do another clone of the same database to an environment called dev. This will take the backup from your FRA, from the production FRA, and create a stage. This will take a backup from an auxiliary location, not your FRA. So it will be strictly connection only to the backup, only to the auxiliary, and we will create dev. In the stage, we will connect one arm of your RMAN will be connected to your production server, and one will be connected to your auxiliary. And using the FRA of the production server, we will clone and create stage. Oracle 11G Release 2 gives us the ability to clone a live database. The database is running. If it's in archive log mode, we can clone it without using any backup. Of course, the downside of it is that it will affect performance of your database, production database. So you don't want to do that 10 o'clock Monday morning. All right, our server has rebooted. If you press enter, it will reconnect. Once we press enter, it reconnects. And the lab says we should reboot the server we have, log in as root, and disable. This should actually say disable. We should, enable, sorry. We should enable firewall, you're right. Enable firewall. Once we enable firewall, we will discover that we are not able to do some things from outside. Oh, this has to be done as root. Sorry. Service IP table start. So let's check the status right away. Firewall is stopped. Okay. I'm going to do this just to be on the safe side. I'm going to go to the server and log in as root. System, security level and firewall. Firewall enabled. Say okay. Okay. Now, take a look at this. Because firewall has been enabled, we will not be able to log in from outside because we have not specifically told the firewall to allow traffic from outside. So let me attempt to log in from outside. If I do a TNS pin PT Linux 2B colon 1521/ORCL. Can you reach this server? So we have a problem. We have a problem. It can't reach it because this port has been closed. Okay? Let me show you the first way to open that port. I'm going to go straight to the server. Usually you will raise a ticket and the sysadmin will do this. But I'm going to go straight to the server and open port 1521. There we go. Security level and firewall. Other ports. Add a port. 1521. Say okay. Say okay. And we are good. Now that I have opened that port, let's go back and attempt to connect to this database. So it failed. It timed out at first. Let's try it again. TNS ping and boom. It got there. But it just says that there's no listener. So it was able to get there before the firewall completely blocked it. We couldn't go in.
Which is good.
Which is good. Now, we want to ensure, the lab says, open not only 1521, but open 1523 and 1158. So let's go ahead and do that. To do that on the command line without using the graphic user screen, I'm going to take a look at the file called IP tables. That file is in, let me cut that file, etc sysconfig IP tables. There's that file. This file simply determines what ports should be opened and what is closed. Now you are a DBA. I don't want you getting involved with what does -m -firewall -TCP. I don't want you to be bothered about all that. Usually this is in the domain of sysadmin. But all I need to do is teach you how you can trick this thing and go past all this. So I just copied this one that is already working. 1521 is already working. So I copied that line and I'm going to VI and use the editor to make changes to this file. VI to this file, I for insert, and I come to the last end there, put a space. No, that's not where I want to put it. I want to be sure that I'm consistent with whatever happens here. I don't want to make a mess. Now, you're not going to have access to this in a corporate environment. The sysadmins will take care of this. But it's good to know where things are. So 1523 is open right there. And I'm going to drop 1158. .1158 is open for my enterprise manager. Escape, right, quit. So I've saved it. Now, I just amended the text file. This thing has not taken effect. So to make it take effect, service
Network restart.
IP tables restart. So we are restarting the IP tables. And now let's go and start up our database. All right. Login as Oracle. I would like to start up the listener first. Listener. Control. Start the default listener. Started the default listener. I'm starting extra door. Extra door started. Now I need to log into my database and start it.
There you go.
SQL Plus Assist DBA connected to an idle instance. The database has not started. Let's start it up.
Okay, start up.
Start up.
Go down.
So the database is starting right now. So we've started the database, the listener, the extra listener, and now we need to start DB console. And after that, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to connect to this database from outside. All right, the database is started. Quickly, let's start DB console, emctl, start DB console. So we are starting DB console right away. It's running. Now the next step is to attempt to log in as sysman from outside. Let's go ahead and log in as sysman. SQL Plus. The username is sysman. I don't want to show my password at PT Linux 2B :1521/OLCL. And the listener does not know. Did I put a space there? Is that a space?
That one was password. Using a sysman.
I don't shoot that myself. I don't.
Should be sysman password. Sysman's /password.
Yeah, I know. But it will ask me for the password. I don't want to display it.
Okay.
Let's check the status of this listener. What's going on here? Listener status. The listener is not. Okay, so the listener is now registered with the database. Let's run that again. Listener was not given the service name in connect data. Let me try port 1523. What is that? All right, some kind of error. We'll fix that. There's one car outside now.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus.
All right. But what we are trying to ensure is that you can fix the firewall. We've done that. Let's try OEM. Log into OEM. We are there. So let's log in. There. So we are logged in. it says to using OEM, unlock the password for HR. Or you can just type alter user HR identified by HR account unlock. Let's use OEM server users and the HR user. You see the account is expired and locked. So we are going to unlock the user. Go. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. So the user has been unlocked. So but the password is still expired. You follow? We can actually reset this password right here. Edit this user and reset this password here. And we can set it to either expire or not expire. Okay? We can unlock him right here. Apply that. By the way, let me show you what the SQL will look like. Show SQL. Alter user HR identified by, which is in the lab already. That's that statement right here. So we could have done that on the command line. Apply that. That user is enabled.
The ones who were created, if we're using the table space, we change the table spaces, right? Now this one you're using the table space.
No, it is not to do with table space. We are managing users.
No, in our own lab, there's a table space. Oh, that's lab 3, I'm sorry.
In that lab that you created a user called Katie.
Okay.
So now with SQL developer or Toad, we want to define a connection to this user. Permit me to define this connection first with Toad. And this username is HR, password is HR, and we're going to do a direct connection to this server, PT, LAB02B, or you can use the IP address. You see this ORC here. And we're going to connect as a normal user. And we are connected. And now we can select star from employees. Run that. There we go. Let's quickly define a connection using SQL developer. Oracle SQL developer.
Beautiful.
New connection. Right click here, new connection. A username is HR. Password is HR. Save the password. Where is the machine? PT LAB02B, or you can use the IP address. The seed is ORCL. Test it and successful. We can bookmark it. HR at PT LAB02B. Save that and close that. And now we can open this plus sign and connect. Select star from employees. All right, very quickly, let's finish up. The lab says to select star from employees, which we have done. Now, the lab says to connect as Cs. and do select star from V $instance. Let's do that with Toad. New connection. We're going to connect as sys. Give it the sys password and give it all the details. PT Linux 2B, and the port is 1521. The seed is ORCL. And we're going to connect as sysdb. Connect, and we are connected. So now we can select star from V $instance. All right, there's the domain name. That's the version of the database when it was started. The database is in open status. All right, next we are going to select star from V database. It has similar objects and fields, but a little different. V database tells us about the database. So we have the creation date, the name of the database. Is it operating in archive log mode or not? That's the database ID. What's the last system change number? Is it open? What's the next thing? V select file name from V data file. The attempt here is to just make you familiar with some of the V files that are very crucial for a DBA's work. So this is V data file. These are our data files. Next, we want to find out about table spaces. So these are table spaces and their sizes. The last thing is to find out your log group. Your redo logs, where are they? So you have 3 redo logs, and these are the locations of your redo log. All these, we haven't completed this lab. We have installed Oracle 11G on Linux, and this is the same process to install 10G on Linux. Thank you very much. Is there any question?
Yes. How do you establish the TNS on the Toad? We use direct.
Oh, we use, the very good question. When I was making connection with Toad, I used the direct connection, but I can establish TNS connection by running NetCA on my Windows, NetCA all program, where my Oracle client, configuration and migration tool, right click on NetCA, run as administrator.
Okay.
And so the same thing, NetCA is open and we want to do the local net service. And there we go, we want to add to, so what is the seed of the database? ORCL, TCP. Where is the database? Is in PT Linux 2B domain. Now, of course, your Windows has to know where that is, what that translates to. The port is 1521. Do you want to test it? Yes, I want to test it. Change that to HR. HR. Say OK. Successful. Next. Now, what do you want to call this connection? Why don't I just call it TP01? Let's just call it TP01. Maybe one of your very important TP application is running on that database. So from now on, in Toad, when we go to TNS connection, we should see TP01. 1 second, let me refresh this. Open that again. TNS.
TCP01.
TP01 is there. So we don't need to use the rest. And we can do this. We can do TNS ping TP01. It got there in 10 milliseconds. All right. In the absence of any other question, we will leave it there. You have successfully installed Oracle on Linux. Next, we will create tablespace, roles, users, and assign privileges. Along the line, we will install Oracle on a database on an ASM file system. We will clone a database and do a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can reach us on our website. You can inquire about the training. We do a full rounded training. We don't cut corners. We ensure that you get the full bang for your buck. Thank you very much again. My name is Billy Effie. Thank you.